One, two, one, two, one, two,
Digital marketer, flooded by an ocean of advertising channels? It's time to try Taboola native. Digital marketer, flooded by an ocean of advertising channels? It's time to try Taboola native.
It's the hardest thing to give away. The last thing on your mind today always goes to those who don't deserve. It's the opposite of how you feel when the pain they cause is just too real. And everything you have to say the word of forgiveness. Slides in the face of all your pride, moves away the man inside. There's always anger's own worst enemy. Even when the jury and the judge say you got a right to hold a grudge, just whisper in your ear, say you set it free. Forgiveness. It'll clear the bitterness away, even set a prisoner free. There is no end to what its power can do. So let it go and be amazed by what you see through eyes of grace. The prisoner that it really frees. There is no forgiveness. Forgiveness. Oh,
Like to watch movies, documentaries, Windows 11 is giving us things fast.
A person who can forgive nothing is a person who's totally destroyed psychologically and emotionally. Forgive your parents. Forgive any relationship that you ever had that didn't work out. Forgive everyone else in your life that has ever hurt you in any way. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself.
When you feel that you are stuck in some situation, or when your affirmations are not working, it usually means there is some more forgiving to be done. Forgiveness of yourself and of others will release you from the prison of the past. Thoughts of bitterness cannot create joy. No matter how justified you feel you are, no matter what they did, if you insist on holding on to the past, then you will never be free. Forgiveness is a tricky and confusing concept for many people. There is a difference between forgiveness and acceptance. Forgiving someone does not mean that you condone their behavior. It really has nothing to do with the other person. The reality of true forgiveness lies in setting ourselves free from holding on to the pain. When you do not flow freely with life in the present moment, it usually means you are holding on to a past moment. Only in the present moment can you create your future. If you are holding on to the past, you cannot be in the present. It is only in this now moment that your thoughts and words are powerful. So you really don't want to waste your current thoughts to continue to create your future from the garbage of the past. When you blame another, you give your own power away because you are placing the responsibility for your feelings on someone else. People in our lives may behave in ways that trigger uncomfortable responses in us. However, they did not get into our minds and create the buttons that have been pushed. Taking responsibility for our own feelings and reactions is mastering our ability to respond. In other words, we learn to consciously choose rather than simply react.
The person you were in the past is a different person than you are today. The person you are today wouldn't do those things because you now have wisdom, you have hindsight, you have intelligence, you understand consequences. So the person you are today is a different person from the person you were back then. So don't keep beating yourself up because that other person, another person, did something that today you disapprove of. All right? Just let yourself go. Let yourself off the hook. And when you let it all go, it's almost like a huge burden off your back. You just forgive everybody and you forgive everything, and on a go-forward basis, you just forgive everybody. You don't have any negativities at all. No negativity toward anybody. You're just a positive person. And if you'll do that, if you accept responsibility, like yourself, and forgive everyone else, you become a truly superior person. Most amazing darn thing. A person who can forgive nothing is a person who's totally destroyed psychologically and emotionally. Forgive your parents. Forgive any relationship that you ever had that didn't work out. Forgive everyone else in your life that has ever hurt you in any way.
Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, hey, evening.
How are you?
Excellent, and you?
Awesome, awesome. Welcome to the Forgiveness Live.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me.
Awesome. So great to have you as well. So I was playing a few videos uh of a video that I found about forgiveness earlier and was pretty amazing. And we are live on Facebook, on my Facebook page, and I'll give you a minute to share it on your IG as well. We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram, and Twitch. So and LinkedIn, I forgot LinkedIn. So we're on a global platform right now. So absolutely. So this is something that I plan to do uh, weekly, uh, once a week, once or twice a week. Just hang out, invite friends and people uh, that that I'm friends with, and people like yourself, wonderful soul like yourself, to
Thank
come to the
you.
stage and hang out and talk about things that make us better as human beings.
Absolutely.
And forgiveness is one of them. Agreed.
You know, I am the queen of forgiveness.
The queen of forgiveness. I like that. The queen of forgiveness. Awesome. So let me my name is Yvonne for those watching who are not friends with me on Facebook or any of the social media websites that we are broadcasting live. My name is Yvonne Drawer. So I am originally from Haiti. I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the home of the Black Wall Street. That's right, Wall Street, Black Wall Street, Greenwood. I am an author, entrepreneur. I'm a digital marketing entrepreneur. And I am joined today with Alexi Malone. I have to say it, Alexi Malone, right? The queen of forgiveness. And Lexi is a future author. She is currently working on her first book, which is going to be amazing. I will give you an opportunity to talk about that before we get into our topic this evening. But first, I would let you introduce yourself.
Well, thank you, Evenair, again for inviting me. And as Evenair said, my name is Alexis Malone. Lexi is quite all right. And I am a voiceover artist. And just as he mentioned, I am going to be an author coming here soon. I'm very excited about, writing a book and just sharing my mind with the world. So, very excited about that. And today's topic, of course.
Lexi, is it too early to give the audience a little bit of what your book will be about?
Not at all, because I spread that all the time, basically. And as you know, as I've shared with you, the premise of the book is just to look for the God in every person, and you were more able to show the love that you have inside of you. So that is the premise of what my book is going to pertain to. So yes, just to give a very small peek into my mind, that is exactly what I want to share at this point.
I like what you say. Look for the God in everyone. You know, uh, we say this all the time. Oh, God made man in his image, right?
That's right.
So if God made man in his image, so every time you see a woman, every time you see a man, you see God.
That's right.
So what I'm getting from that, when you treat someone else badly, you treat God badly.
There it is. Now you're stealing stuff from my mind that's going to
So
my book.
regardless, this person, regardless of the status of that person, regardless of the race, the gender, uh, the social class of that person, you are seeing God. You are looking at God, someone that was made in the image of God and according to his likeness.
Yes, that is correct. And one of the quote unquote that I like to call labels that you did miss was age, because a lot of times people fail to realize that you also have to see the God in children and even babies,
Hmm.
because they are teachers as well. A lot of people fail to realize the lessons that they learn just from raising children or being around children. The lessons that children can bring into your life are
Hmm.
definitely pivotal.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, age, I believe everyone, whether you are 10 years old or you're 95 years old, and you have your place in our society, you have your place in society, period. And as I'm getting older, I understand this every single day, is that, man, it if you really don't think, if you really don't strengthen your mindset, you're gonna be depressed with age. The older you get, the more you think, oh my goodness, I'm running out of time. Oh my goodness, I didn't have a chance to do this, I didn't have chance to do that. You're becoming impatient, even with yourself sometimes. But
That's true.
I learned I learned that uh, you got to treat older people, elderly people with grace, because it's inevitable. We all gonna get there someday.
That is correct. I most certainly agree. And for me, in order to really treat everyone that you come in contact with as if they were God, it takes the art of forgiveness a lot of times to be able to do that, because you come across people that may be having a bad day or something like that. And it's really sometimes for a lot of people in today's society, just based on the way that we've been programmed, it's become societally okay to be at odds when people are having a bad day, and you might not know they're having a bad day, but they may say something that may have been taken offensively, or or whatever the case may have been. But if you're seeing the God in that person and you're understanding, okay, you can easily switch that around for yourself and not take it personally. Number one, just because a person is coming off to you negatively doesn't
Mhm.
mean that you have to repay them with that same kind of energy. You can accept it as, okay, I have no idea what this person is going through today. Let me receive them and give them something that they're not expecting, which is out of a place of love and forgiveness for whatever it is that they could be going through. And another thing I wanted to mention, always is most important, is forgiving yourself is paramount.
Mm. Whew.
Okay. That's going to be paramount. You have to learn to forgive yourself for your shortcomings, for all of the little chatter that goes on in your head, the thoughts that you may have that may take you down a road. You have to forgive yourself for all of the different losses that we may take, or anything that you may feel as though that you are regretful for, or anything. Got to learn to forgive self so that you're not dwelling on things. And then that leaves it open for it to be much easier to forgive other people.
Lexi, you hit that on the nail. Forgiving yourself. And I say this all the time, you cannot give what you don't have.
That's right.
And it's just the same for love. You cannot give it if you don't have it for yourself. It's the same for forgiveness. You need to learn to forgive yourself.
I mean, we are human. We can make mistakes and we will make mistakes. Therefore, we have to forgive ourselves in order for us to move on. Next, next, next. You know what? It's a mistake. You miss the mark. That's basically what a mistake is. You miss the mark. So if you miss the mark, it doesn't mean that you're dead. It doesn't mean that you cannot do good again. It's just that you missed the mark. Plain and simple. So I like what you said about forgiving yourself. And as we go deeper into the topic of how to stop holding grudges and start forgiving people, and and I and I highlighted a few things, and I wanted to talk about acknowledging the cause of the grudge. You know, we have to acknowledge why, what causing that grudge, and to start with, so we need to find out what is the root cause of your grudge. And if you are someone who, like, you know what, my gosh, I can't forgive that person, and you need to take a moment, try to understand what is the root of the of that grudge. You can only try to find a solution after you are aware of a problem. It's just like a disease. You cannot treat that disease if you don't know, if you're not aware that there is a disease in the first place.
Absolutely.
And at times you may come to realize that you were just overreacting or holding a grudge over such a petty thing, something that doesn't have any big significance, but you holding a grudge. But once you have seen the main problem, you can then settle on a decision to push ahead from that point.
Absolutely. And what I feel is that in forgiveness, the art of forgiveness and just like you were just explaining, you have to figure out the cause of the grudge, right? 9 times out of 10, the cause of that grudge is going to be belief, it's going to be differences
Mhm.
in perceptions or what feelings, emotions. It's going to be a difference, it's going to be something that is causing that rift. And if you're able to not take things personally and not make assumptions, I'm a big huge fan of the four agreements. That is literally like
Mhm.
one of my tiny Bibles, I actually call it. But if those four small agreements, to live by them is it seems very easy, but it is very challenging.
Mhm.
So, but if you are able to not make assumptions and not take things personally and be able to understand that everybody's belief is different. No one has the same beliefs. No one has even people raised in the same household sometimes share different beliefs about different things and can have disagreements. I have a
Mhm.
sister. I have, 3 sisters. We don't all believe the same thing and we don't all think the exact same way just because we were all raised, quite closely. So it's all in what you're willing to drop in order to hold on to a meaningful relationship. And even relationships that you see that are not working, there of course, there's going to be times where you run into a person that may be struggling with an addiction or may be struggling with some mental incapacities or something like that, where you don't feel like you want to continue a relationship with them. But instead of like cutting it as something negative out of your life, you want to put it in a place of forgiveness and say, hey, I want to see this God in this person. And I see that this person is dealing with a lot right now. that I may not even know about. So if
Mhm.
you can accept that fact and then say, and I forgive them for whatever challenges that they're having in life, and I'm going to go ahead and let them be so that they can go ahead and get things figured out. You don't have to leave them in a place, oh, I don't F with them no more. Some people get all so worked up. I'm not messing with that person no more. I'm done with them. You
Mm.
don't even have to be like that. It
No.
doesn't have to be like that at all. It can definitely be from a point of positivity and a point of forgiveness, even when somebody hurts you. Because I was actually teased in school, and my mom actually helped me to become the queen of forgiveness because she said, you don't go to school to make friends. You go to school to learn. I mean, that may not have been like some people always say, and this is another thing that I always say. Some people always say, oh, well, that wasn't nice. That wasn't something that maybe that was, they don't think that that's the way my mom should have handled it. But I
Mhm.
said, actually, it was fine for me. I mean, it worked out well because I do have a very innate ability to just forgive everybody, including my parents. It was funny that the video that you played, I heard it mention to
Forgive
forgive
your
your
parents.
parents. Yes. And that was one of the first things that I had to overcome in life because everyone you meet is going to have some issue with their upbringing. Everyone is going to have an issue with the way their parents brought them up. Everybody has it. It's not
True.
uncommon at all. So if you can look and say, okay, this is my father's background, this is my mother's background, and you can say, hey, they may have experienced trauma of their own that they may still not have released or whatever the case may have been. There's traumas that people are still suffering from childhood that we have no idea about. So I can't just say, oh, you're no kind of parent based on how they, you know, raised me. I have to look deeper and say, hey, maybe this person didn't get as much love as they needed to become
Hmm.
that better person that, someone thinks that they should have been.
Hmm.
So I was able to forgive even my parents, anyone who's ever done anything. I was able to find it in my heart to forgive just about everybody that has ever wronged or who I perceived has wronged me, because some people you may think, oh, this person's done me wrong. They might not think that they did anything wrong. It's all about perception.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's where belief comes in. Drop them.
Absolutely. And you said it well, and that was the second thing that I was going to talk about. In everything in life, uh, everything in life has its positive and its negative side. Uh, so instead of getting angry, instead of getting mad, or the whole issue, try to take it as an invaluable lesson to you. You know, take it, as a lesson that you're gonna learn from this experience. Try to push your mind to understand. You know what, this thing can happen. You know what, everything works together. And sometimes the people that you hold grudge, right? That person did something to you so that you could become who you are today. You know, I've had people who have just said things to me in life, but you know what? I look at what they said differently. You know what? I'm gonna take what they said to me as a motivation for me to do and be better. Look at the positive side of it. It doesn't have to be always negative. You can get a positive outcome from something negative.
Especially if you're, and another thing that comes into the equation with holding a grudge on someone or something of that nature is being accountable.
Hmm.
When you are accountable for your 100% of the relationship and you're only worrying about how you handled your side, it is going to come out as a
Hmm.
positive for you, because you can honestly say, if someone made you feel a certain type of way, if someone say you say, "Oh, Lexi made me angry." No, no, no. Lexi didn't make you angry. Eveneer made Eveneer angry.
Mm.
You chose to get angry. I didn't make you make that decision. I didn't even say it to make you make that decision. Lexi's just talking from Lexi's world. I'm in my own world.
Oh
You're
my
in your
goodness.
own world.
Oh my
So
goodness.
you gotta be accountable.
When I was when I was in college, I had a critical thinking professor, Dr. Russell. And then, hello,
Say hi, Drayden.
hey, Drayden, how are you?
He can't hear you. You're in my headphones.
So,
watch TV. You can go to Chuck E. Cheese. I go Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
he's giving mommy some love.
Yes, because he's happy about going to Chuck E. Cheese after.
Oh, that's right. So, when I was in college, I had this professor, critical thinking professor. God bless his soul. He's no longer with us, Dr. Russell. He said something one day that really shocked me. He said, "No one is responsible for how you feel." And as an emotional person, I am. And I said, that doesn't make sense. Why would you say no one is responsible for how you feel? Are you saying that if someone, says something bad to you or step on your feet, they're not responsible for that? They're not responsible for you, hitting your head on the wall
No.
or trying to, do harm to yourself? He said, no. So
Yeah.
he said, you are responsible to change the way you feel by changing the way you think about it.
That is correct.
I took a long minute to just process that. And I look at it this way. Whoever did you wrong, this person is not thinking about it after 10 years. After 5 years. You might be thinking about it, but that person is not thinking about it. And I
Not
was
at
watching
all.
this video on Facebook. This woman, she said that she was working for a company. She got fired.
Mm.
And she got fired. It wasn't just, okay? It was wrong. It was a wrongful termination. And one day, years later, she met that woman. She met that supervisor in a mall. And she was thinking in her head, like, oh my God, that's the woman who did this to me. She walked up to the woman. She said, hey, do you know that the woman that you did not even remember her?
I'm not surprised because she wasn't. Just like you said, it leaves people because they're not doing it intentional. The woman had nothing against her; she was doing her job.
And even when somebody does something to you with intention,
With intention, right?
with intentions,
You choose to feel
you
however
choose.
you choose to feel.
Yeah. And that said, forgiveness is not for the other person. It is for you.
And it's also a choice.
It's also a choice.
Just like anger is a choice, depression is a choice, sadness is a choice. Any feeling with a negative connotation is just as you have the choice of being happy or sad. That's why there's that, everything has that good or bad side of it because you can choose the good or the bad of any spectrum.
Yes. And you said it well. It's a choice. And when I was in Haiti, and the professor, I had a math teacher, he defines a line in math as a bunch of dots connected together. And I believe life is a bunch of choices connected together. And your life is the result of all of the different choices that you make.
That
If
is
you're
correct.
miserable because you're holding grudge against people, people perhaps not even around, you know, and and shame on you if you're watching this video and there's someone who already passed, whether before COVID or after COVID. COVID is still here, by the way. And long time ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, and you're still holding that person in grudge. Shame on you.
Yes,
That
absolutely.
person is at peace. You disturbing your own peace.
That's right. And you know that holding grudges can make you sick
Yes,
physically.
yes, yes. I actually heard someone talk about this. That they've done some research that a lot of heart diseases are due to the fact that people hold things in their hearts.
That's right.
Wow, it's amazing. You know, if medical science can prove that, it simply means that if someone doesn't want to come to you and say, I'm sorry, Lexi, I'm sorry, Evening, you know what? Share your thoughts with that person. Tell that person how you feel. Because he or she may not even realize that you're holding a grudge, that you are upset, or you are in pain. Share your thoughts with the other party, and by doing so, you begin the healing process for yourself. Because a grudge could be as a result of just small misunderstanding. By confronting the issue the wrong way, you know, and you can either make it even something worse, you know.
And it's funny that you mentioned that because I have a little bit of a different perspective when
Mhm.
just for instance, and because I don't hold grudges, I've always my motto has been for years, I don't hold grudges because life is too short.
Mhm.
So, there have been times where people have not liked me, and all they did, I never even opened my mouth. They just don't like the way I look. And, and they show it in multiple different ways. And I never take it personal. I don't treat them any differently or anything like that. And I never let them know that they have been, hurting my feelings by treating me this way and
Mhm.
not even knowing who I am. Don't even give me a chance. Don't even know me, but just don't give me a chance. I don't ever voice what that does to me as a person. I just, I've learned to just say, you know what? Hey, maybe it is what it is. I don't know what it is that I may have done, but I forgive them anyway. And I step off. And almost 100% of the time, when someone does that to me, when they get to know me is to love me.
Mhm.
So when they get to know me, they're like, wow, you are so cool and this and that. And I'm getting all this different. And I'm just like, yeah, just give me a chance. And I can show you, but I don't know what it is about my look that people don't like. But whatever it is, I get it quite frequently. And I never say a word. My energy, because energy says everything. You can tell genuine energy when you meet it. So my energy always reverses the relationships each and every time. When people subject me to that, my energy always prevails because it's like I don't mean anyone any harm, and quite frankly, I'd like to give people a level of respect and love and humility that they deserve, and just being humble and saying, hey, because
Mhm.
sometimes, I actually, like I was telling you earlier, I had went to a seminar this weekend, and they had, lunch provided for us and everything. And they had servers that were serving the lunch. But before I sat down to eat anything, I went and gave each one of those servers a hug,
Mhm.
because they were just standing there and nobody was like acknowledging them, or it was just like they're just the servers. Label, that's a label.
Right.
Okay, so I looked at them and I saw, look at God over there, let me go give him a hug. And that's what I did. I went down the whole row of people every single day I was there, and I gave them a hug before I ate anything, because I'm grateful to be in a position, to be at a place where they're having people to serve us some food. I mean, because when I'm at home, ain't nobody, I'm the server. So I have to come from a place of humility, because typically it's me that's the server. I have 4 kids. So typically it's me standing there on the sidelines, giving everybody their food before I eat anything. So it gave me an opportunity to say, hey there, God, give me a hug. And the one guy, the last guy that I hugged, he actually came, we connected. We actually connected, and he came to me and he said, you just made me feel so good and welcome. I've never like had a job like this. I mean, he talked for so long. He said that, this is the first time he's like worked a job like that. He was really nervous, and he was just like, he hasn't really been feeling himself lately and stuff like that. And he was really happy. And he said, thanks for just acknowledging me and just giving me a hug. I mean, I don't know when the last time I got one, so that
Wow.
was very powerful, because you don't know when the last time somebody got a hug, or a kind word, or the door held for him. Sometimes you could just hold the door, and that is a lot. So
A simple act of kindness.
that's it.
And Lexi, really, your your philosophy on life is just amazing. And you said that a few times, actually, look at God over there. You know, and I think if we as human being, instead of trying to find God
Up in the
everywhere
sky.
else,
Up in the sky.
everywhere else,
Yes, everywhere
you
else.
know, everywhere else, His God is right next to us.
That's right. It's you. God right next to you, and you treating God right next to you like a dog, and then say,
Yeah.
"Oh no, yeah, I praise God." It's like
You know,
crazy almost.
God says, "I created man in my image, according to my likeness." I mean, my likeness. I mean, I look like God, and you look like God, and God is. Oh my goodness! So let's give an example. I mean, you walking down the street of New York City, you know, thousands of people walking, going to work and going home, or going whatever. You see a bunch of people, you are bumping against God. Oh, I mean, you go to a concert, I mean, at the bus stop, and you are seeing God every day.
Yep. And how are you making God feel?
It's just how you think about it.
That's right. How are you making them feel? What do you, because when, just like another thing that I always do, and you know this, Eve, there, I am the lady with the sunshine smile. I think I smile like more than I do anything else in life, and I laugh even more than I smile.
Mhm.
But and so many people just roll up on me on the street, I get it, all day, every day. You have such a beautiful smile. And I say,
Mhm.
thank you. And half the time that leads me into talking to God knows who about just from that. I mean,
Mhm.
people are drawn to kindred spirits. And when you just give somebody you don't know what a smile will do for someone. Because if I was rolling around poker face, like I just walk up and down and then I speak to people. You don't find that anymore. I was raised, my grandmother used to always tell us, use manners freely. You use your manners freely and you speak, because it's like they're free. It's not costing me anything to say, hey, how you doing? Or have a great day. And one of my new mantras that I've just recently started to say, and someone actually just adopted it yesterday when I said it to her. I
Mhm.
say, what I say is, I say, have a great day on purpose, because
Oh,
it's you determine how your day is going to unfold. So if I'm
I
going to have
say
a good
make a
day,
great day.
yeah, if you're going to, yeah, make a great day, have a great day on purpose. That's really what it's all about. I make my own great days. Every day is a great day when you make it a great day. It's a
When you make
choice.
it a great day, it's a choice.
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing the way you put it together. And as we talk about forgiveness, and there's an interesting quote by someone famous, and I'll bring it up. It says forgiveness, forgive others not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. Mel Robbins.
Yes.
So now put it on the screen. Forgive others not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. That means when you forgive people, you creating peace for
That is
yourself.
correct.
Your peace is more important. Peace of mind is more important than holding a grudge on something that is so insignificant sometimes. I'm not saying all
Yes.
the time, but sometimes so insignificant.
And one of the other quotes, and I can't remember the gentleman's name right now who said it, because I'm such a lover of reading in words that I know a lot of quotes, but I just can't remember his name. And he said, the quote goes, "Forgiveness is the fragrance the violet leaves on the heel that crushed it." And that's basically saying that someone has stepped on a violet and killed it,
Mhm.
but it left a beautiful fragrance on their foot because it forgave them for crushing it with a beautiful fragrance. I just love that quote. I love the way that I always think of it. It just sounds so sweet.
And I'll put it on the screen. I'll put it like
Did you find it?
I will find it.
Okay, yes, because I do know that that is a quote. Read it.
Yes, forgiveness is a fragrance.
This close.
Go ahead. They're not closed.
You still didn't go there.
Go get your shoes on.
So forgiveness
We're
is
going to
Yes. Yep.
because
Mark Twain.
forgiveness
It sure is Mark Twain.
is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it.
Yes, it sure is Mark Twain. Good old Mark Twain. I actually just wrote a short story that envelopes, like I always say, because I say it all the time, I always say, look at God, because it's true. When you look at people as if they were God, you would understand a lot more about yourself, and you'd understand a lot more about the world around you. I don't know if we have time for me to share this story or not. Fellas, I need you guys to quiet down, please. Back up, look at your
We're
TV
not
show,
going
put
Chuck E.
shoes on.
Cheese.
We are going, but you have to put your shoes on, please. Go ahead and get your shoes on.
Mom,
Yes.
is it 2 minutes?
No, just a second, okay? You tiny little guy. This is Dre Darian, the other twin.
Oh my goodness! I thought that was the
Yes.
same kid.
No, this is the other one who's their
Oh
twin.
wow! They are
No,
almost
they didn't
identical.
Dre Darian. Yes, they're not. They're frat brothers, though. Brayden, come on, put the shoe on and stop hitting your brother. Go ahead. Go ahead, baby boy.
We're not
Go ahead.
Chuck E.
Go ahead so mommy can get finished so we can go, okay? You want to go to Chuck E. Cheese, you better go put your shoes on.
Get that away.
Go ahead. Here. Here, take your sock and go ahead and put on your shoes so we can go. Are you finished watching your program? They're like, you should have never told us we was going to Chuck E. Cheese because
I know. So
they're
when you
holding me
mention
to
Chuck E.
it.
Cheese, that's it.
Yes. Okay, go ahead, baby boy. Come on, guys. I need you to not be so loud, Drayden. Go ahead, put your shoes on, Dre Darian. I think he likes the fact that he can see himself.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, go ahead,
Maybe
sweetheart.
he wants to. Maybe he wants to be on TV one day.
Yes. Go ahead.
That's me. No, get off.
Okay, sweetheart. Mommy's almost finished. No, Drayden. No hitting with your shoe. Okay, baby. Go ahead. No, Drayden. No hitting your brother with your shoe. Put him on. Okay, no Chuck E. Cheese. We're not going because you guys are not listening to mommy. Go put your shoes on, Draydarian. Go ahead. Go put shoes on so we can go. Go ahead. They're right out there. Go put your shoes on. No crying, Drayden. Okay, I'm going to close the curtain right now. And go make sure you turn the TV off and stuff. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so you were talking about a story.
Yes, I actually just wrote a short story. And if you don't mind, I'll share it with you.
Yes, go ahead. Sure, go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. I see the God in every soul I meet. Recognizing God in all is life's little treat. Some people hide the God in them behind life's pain. They have yet to recognize they are God. They live life in vain. Some people think that God is in the sky, and you only meet him one time, and that's when you die. Most people think God is a he, but I am a woman, and God is me. Most people don't recognize that God is in us all. White, black, woman, man, God is even in the very small. I asked a man, "Do you recognize me?" just to see what he would say. He replied, "Yeah, I remember you, the lady from the other day." I said, "Wrong. I am God in disguise to see how you would treat me. You judged me just based on my appearance, and I thought, is this how you greet me?" Drayden, come on, please. Is this how you greet me? Let's see. Where did I...
Is this how you greet me?
Yes. When I encountered this man, first, he was the worst. He treated me as if I were dirt. He didn't recognize me because I'm a girl. It wasn't personal, and he didn't recognize me because I'm a girl. It wasn't personal, and I wasn't hurt. I kept hearing this man tell lots of folks how he loved God so. I said to myself, forgive this man. I am God, and he doesn't know. Perhaps this man didn't recognize me because I am a she. He might believe God is in the sky, or maybe that God is a he. It's right in the Bible, Genesis 1:27, God created man and woman in his image. We weren't created to see our differences as cause to be in constant scrimmage. I saw the God in this man and was grateful for all of his work. It's possible he didn't know who I was since I'm a convenience store clerk. God was placed in us to see how we would treat him, to be the silent witness to see how we would greet him. And the only disguise was to live behind our eyes. God is in a bum, even in the dumb. God is in the lazy, the blind, crippled, and crazy. God is in all our skin. It's the spirit we have within. We are the God we search for. Some gods, they are rich. Some gods, they are poor. If we were to see the God in all humans, maybe we'd show love more. The man said to me, you aren't God doing that lowly work. Don't flatter yourself. You're a goddamn store clerk. He said, ring me up so I can pay and go on about my very good day. He didn't realize the price he'd pay when in just 1 year, I had made a huge change. I was no longer a store clerk, for my life did rearrange. Now I was living my purpose and dreams. I had become a public speaker and was all over TV. I was at a live seminar when a man walked up to me. With a look of bewilderment, he said, this can't be. He asked me for a photo. I greeted him with a smile. I recognized him immediately, although it had been a while. He asked me, "Do you remember me?" I smiled at him and I replied, "I recognize you. You're God in disguise." He instantly said, "Now it's me you despise." The man burst into tears and said he's so sorry for treating me like I was dirt. I told him I didn't take it personal and that I wasn't hurt. I saw the God in you then, and I still see it now. The man cried much harder and asked me, "God, how? How can you forgive me for treating you bad because you were a store clerk on a day that I was mad?" I gave him a big hug to comfort his tears. The man said, "This is the first time I felt love in years." See, the man thought he knew God, and he did in a way. I whispered to him, "You're God too, and that everything is okay." You must recognize the God in you before you can see that the power of God was always in me. I asked him to look for the God in everyone, that God watches through our eyes to see how it's done. How people see problems and bad things you see, all because they do not recognize God in me.
Wow, wow, wow. That was powerful.
Thank you. I'm so sorry for the little tears. Of course, he would stop when I'm done.
No, it's okay. It's okay. See, I think I was the same way. I am the last child.
Yeah.
So I was when I was a kid, I was always with my mom. My mom goes to the market, I'm with her.
Yes.
And yeah, I was definitely like this boy right there. So it's
Yeah.
okay.
And these are my last two. So, of course, they're both the babies at the same exact time.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, and now they have started to fight, like always, because these two love to. Is that nice, Stray Darian, to hit your brother?
He hit.
No, it's not nice. We're talking about forgiveness, Stray Darian. Do you forgive Drayden for hitting you? Why don't you forgive him and give him a big hug? Oh, well, we might not be able to go to Chuck E. Cheese unless you guys forgive each other. Forgiveness. That's what we're talking about, fellas.
Yeah, so and it's good too, talking to them about forgiveness is
Yes.
such an amazing thing. Yeah. Yeah, and I learned something similar when I was in school, when I was in Haiti. But it's not a poem, it's a song. And the song is talked about Jesus Christ, who dressed like a poor man.
Yes.
And he goes and asks for food.
And I think they like to see this on the TV screen.
And the first person that Jesus asked for food and kicked him out, say, "Hey, get out of my porch. I don't have anything for you. The food that I have is for my dog, because my dog does a good job here in the yard, but does a good job in the house, but so she kicked the poor man out."
Yes.
And the second story, that same poor man, Jesus Christ, dressed as a poor man, went into to a man, asked for food, and the man said, "Come in, come on in," and he gave the man food to eat and gave him a change of clothes. Say, "If you need anything else, let me know." And after that, in the story, the poor man revealed himself and said, "You know what? I am Jesus. Thank you so much for receiving me."
Yeah.
So when we receive other people, we receive him. And he is the king of forgiveness because he died to forgive all of us.
That is correct.
So, and if we are to do the same thing for every other human being, that's a reflection of his image in us. know, when we forgive people. And also forgiveness is, is showing love, you know,
Yes.
that is showing love. Because there was no love without forgiveness, and there was no forgiveness without love.
Yes, I
That's
love that.
Bright McGill. And when we say that we love people, it starts with forgiveness,
Yeah,
you know. And
absolutely.
if we say that we love someone and cannot forgive them, I don't know if we can still call it love.
That is correct.
Stop
Yeah. So that was great. So and lastly, just forgive, and we go back to those points that we talked about. We first got to acknowledge the cause of the grudge, and secondly, we have to consider the positive side of things, because in
Yes.
everything in life there's a positive, there's a negative, and we also need to share our thoughts with the person that we hold in grudge. And lastly, just forgive them, forgive them.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And just like as you can see, I am forgiving these little babies here for
That's
their
right.
little
And I'm sure our audience will also forgive them
forgive them.
as well.
Yes. This is exactly the kind of stuff that is I'm so glad they walked in, because so they can forgive them, because they are just little boys. They don't know what we're doing. They have no idea. So they're like, oh, okay. Oh, we can see ourselves on here, and you have a friend that you're talking to, and he obviously can hear us. So they're like, oh, yeah, we like this. They want a piece of it too. They're like, we want to be on camera too. We like this. Hey,
That's
even
right.
though they're fighting with each other. No, Drayden, no messing with mommy's equipment. Okay?
It's
No
fine
messing with
because
the equipment.
it's a hangout, and this topic is such an important topic, and I know people will be watching once the live is done, is
Yes.
over, because right now we are live on all of this platform: Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube and Twitch. So I will let you go take these boys
The
to Chuck E. Cheese
I got tape.
before they start their own podcast.
Yeah.
I got.
Oh, now he has some scotch tape that he's now has a hold of. My scotch tape. Thank you. Here, there's your piece.
Where's my?
Okay, you want a piece too? Here, let's go on a piece of- Okay, there you go. You got a piece of scotch tape. Go ahead and tape up something.
Yeah.
Not in here. You have to tape something outside of mommy's studio. Why don't you go tape something up out there?
Oh man,
Oh, if I had known scotch tape would have worked, I would have used that a long time ago.
That's right. That's right. So it was a pretty good topic. So Alexis, so thank you so much, for making the time. I know you're so busy. You're writing, and then you have 2 kids, right? Is it 2
4.
kids?
I
You
have 4.
kids. Okay.
Yeah.
4 kids. Okay. So where the other 2 are they sleeping?
Actually, no. My daughter's 17. She's at work, and my son,
she's grown.
yeah, she's
grown.
17. Yeah, so she's at work right now. She won't be off until 10 o'clock. She gets right out of school and goes straight to work almost every day. So I
Nice.
rarely see her. But my son, he's 13, just turned 13, and he's who I picked up from wrestling practice, him and my nephew, and he's just hanging out with them. And as soon as I get done, I'm gonna go back and pick him up.
Okay, awesome. Nice. I could never understand wrestling. It's just like and I was, I'm still skinny. Been skinny all my life, and I couldn't do any heavy sport like that. It would just kill me. Boom. And I remember in high school I tried, because I used to play soccer in high school. I
Oh,
did soccer and I also ran cross country. Those
okay.
I could do well. I mean, I can run. I mean, even now I can still run. I mean, I would need practice for me to be able to hold my breath for
Long.
for long, but I can still run. So I played soccer. I played JV soccer and ran cross country. And one day I was watching a few people like the school, they were doing football practice. And I'm like, you know what? Let me try this thing called football. Oh my goodness. There's this kid in high school. He hit me. He was a quarterback for the team. He hit me. I mean, I felt like I was this pen and just pushed me and I just flew. I'm like, oh, this sport is not for me.
Not for me.
Not for me. I would have to stay in the gym 24/7 and get pumped up. Like, too skinny for that.
Absolutely understand. I'm not a sportsy person, so I'm just looking like, okay, if he likes sports, so whatever he's into, he has a match, they call it. I always say game, but he's like, no, mom, when wrestling, it's a match. So they have a match tomorrow, their first match. So I'm gonna go to the match and see how everything goes. I've never been to a wrestling match before, so I'm excited to see and just give him support. So
Yeah. One last point that I'll make before we just close in the next 5 minutes, and I'll play that video again for the audience. Many times I hear people say, "I will forgive you, but I cannot forget."
oh
Forgive,
yeah.
forgiving, but doesn't mean you can forget. Anything you want to say about that?
I most certainly do, because if you say that you forgive but you can't forget, you've never forgiven at all.
Mm,
You haven't forgiven if you say you didn't forget, because how can you say, oh, I forgive you, but I remember, I'm going to hold on to that? That's a direct contradiction of what you just said. So you got to really think about what you say when you say stuff, and not just say what is widely accepted, because it's a widely accepted term for
mhm,
people to say, oh, I forgive you, but I don't forget. That doesn't even make any sense if you think about it logically.
yeah, and and I see it just a little bit different, just a little bit different. So forgiving doesn't mean that you forget. It means that when you remember, it doesn't make you feel bad anymore. It doesn't hurt
Oh, I like that.
because grudge is basically when you remember what the person has done to you, you still hurt. That's grudge.
Yes.
You holding it is still hurt.
Yes, baby
So
boy.
you don't forget,
You don't have your shoes
but
on
you
yet,
don't
J
let it
Daddy.
make you feel bad anymore.
Right. Because you still don't have your shoes on. If your shoes were on, then I would be off the computer and we'd be in the car to Chuck E. Cheese. But you don't.
All
Go
right.
put your shoes on, Dre Darian, please. Where are your shoes? Don't kick mommy's wall. I need my wall.
All right. So thank you so much, Lexi, and thank you, Jaden.
Yes. And Dre
Jaden,
Darian.
Jaden, and who?
And Dre Darian.
Jaden and Jordarian.
Yes.
Oh, the names are almost alike.
Yes.
Jaden and Jordarian.
Yes.
Want this in my way?
Awesome. That was great meeting you guys, and thank you so much, Lexi.
Are you going to say bye-bye to Mr. Evener? Say see ya. Can you give him a wave? He's upset now. Oh, Dre Darian, is that nice? Yeah, they want me off of this and in the car to Chuck E. Cheese. They're
That's
like, you're
right. Go
taking too
Chuck E. Cheese.
long.
All righty. So thank you so much, Lexi. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you
Yes.
to the boys as well. They give us permission to be on here for an
Yes.
hour and 11 minutes. So thank you, boys.
Yes.
All righty, thank you so much. And today we talked about how to stop holding grudges and start forgiving. We had with us Alexa Malone. She is a podcaster and future author. The book coming out soon, very soon, right?
Is that
And
nice to
and
punch
Lexi,
mommy?
if someone wants to stay in touch with you, and how can they connect with you?
They would be able to connect with me on Instagram _Alexis_Malone. I'm also on Facebook, Alexis Malone. And most platforms you're going to find me under Alexis Malone, on Twitter as well. Let me see this paper. This is mommy's mail, Drayden. Let me
Awesome,
see it,
awesome.
Drayden. Don't rip the paper, please. Let me see the paper.
All right, so we'll go ahead and end the live right now. So we'll have the video playing at the end, the same video we had earlier. So thank you
Okay.
so much.
I moved this.
Yes,
so
thank
much.
you,
And guys,
Evener.
enjoy Chuck E. Cheese.
Mr. Evener said, enjoy Chuck E. Cheese. Boys say thank you.
A person who can forgive nothing is a person who's totally destroyed psychologically and emotionally. Forgive your parents. Forgive any relationship that you ever had that didn't work out. Forgive everyone else in your life that has ever hurt you in any way. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself.
When you feel that you are stuck in some situation, or when your affirmations are not working, it usually means there is some more forgiving to be done. Forgiveness of yourself and of others will release you from the prison of the past. Thoughts of bitterness cannot create joy. No matter how justified you feel you are, no matter what they did, if you insist on holding on to the past, then you will never be free. Forgiveness is a tricky and confusing concept for many people. There is a difference between forgiveness and acceptance. Forgiving someone does not mean that you condone their behavior. It really has nothing to do with the other person. The reality of true forgiveness lies in setting ourselves free from holding on to the pain. When you do not flow freely with life in the present moment, it usually means you are holding on to a past moment. Only in the present moment can you create your future. If you are holding on to the past, you cannot be in the present. It is only in this now moment that your thoughts and words are powerful. So you really don't want to waste your current thoughts to continue to create your future from the garbage of the past. When you blame another, you give your own power away because you are placing the responsibility for your feelings on someone else. People in our lives may behave in ways that trigger uncomfortable responses in us. However, they did not get into our minds and create the buttons that have been pushed. Taking responsibility for our own feelings and reactions is mastering our ability to respond. In other words, we learn to consciously choose rather than simply react.
The person you were in the past is a different person than you are today. The person you are today wouldn't do those things because you now have wisdom, you have hindsight, you have intelligence, you understand consequences. So the person you are today is a different person from the person you were back then. So don't keep beating yourself up because that other person, another person, did something that today you disapprove of. All right? Just let yourself go. Let yourself off the hook. And when you let it all go, it's almost like a huge burden off your back. You just forgive everybody and you forgive everything, and on a go-forward basis, you just forgive everybody. You don't have any negativities at all. No negativity toward anybody. You're just a positive person. And if you'll do that, if you accept responsibility, like yourself, and forgive everyone else, you become a truly superior person. Most amazing darn thing.